Howdy folks, Elcorex here, and welcome to episode 43 of Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. Well, howdy. Well, today we're going to be talking about the Trebuchet, the 50-ton mech. Man, what's not to love about this thing? Well, there's a few things you can't love, but overall, it's a really good mech. Now let's delve into this lovely little machine. Yeah, I've been leaving some of the good stuff behind. And to the end, I should say. Now, the 50-ton mech. It's a 580. Doesn't have jump jets. Kind of a minor setback. 10 heat sinks. 120 points of armor, which is 7.5 tons. Which is, I think, 2.5 tons short of maximum. Then it carries two LRM-15s. Yeah, everybody loves that hunchback with that AC-20. This thing has two LRMs, 15s. This thing can dish it out. But it carries only 2 tons of ammo. 1 ton for each weapon system, which is 8 shots. Then we have 3 medium lasers. Well, the LRMs, we have 1 in the right torso, 1 in the left arm, and then we have 2 medium lasers in the right arm and 1 medium laser in the left arm. Which, it's not bad. Now, what are the drawbacks of this thing? Ammo. It only carries 1 ton each. So if you get into a protracted, however you say it, gunfight where you're running and gunning, and next thing you know, 8 turns later, if something's still standing, you're going click, click, click. And you're carrying around roughly 16 tons of nothing that you can't use anymore because it's empty. That's the main drawback of this thing. So you have to rely on 3 medium lasers. And they're in the arms. And that can be a problem because, as you know, when it comes to any type of light or medium mech, a couple good hits. Let's just check in here. We got torso arm is 10 points, so you get 18. So 1 good PPC hit and the armor's all gone. And then next thing you know, you're without your medium lasers or your LRM. Now, is that a problem? Maybe, because what is the whole role of this mech? It's a support mech. I like to say, for the medium lances and the light lances. Because I love to run this thing in a light lance. So you get some, let's say I love my Wolfhounds. We're going to get to that Wolfhound here soon. But let's say you got a Wolfhound and like this last game I had a Wolfhound, a Commando, a Javelin, and a Trebuchet. And the Trebuchet's whole job was fire support until it was click, 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 no more ammo left, and then it went in and started chopping things up with the medium lasers and kicking and screaming and punching. Now, so I use it for 100% fire support. And like I said, I just love using this thing in the role of a light to medium lance support, where like I said, you have a couple mechs. Their whole job is to rip armor off, and this is one of its jobs, is to do, the ripping off that armor, because a medium mech that can do 30 points of damage at range 21 to a target, that's good, plain and simple. What's not to like about that? Everybody likes, like I said, talks about the hunchback with that AC-10 or AC-20. It's a delivery system that you got to get up and close into their face. A Trebuchet can take down a hunchback before it ever gets that AC-20 in range, because if you do the maneuvering right and stay within that nice range band of 10 plus until you run dry, you're going to do, you got 8 turns, you got 240 points of damage potential with those LRMs. No, you're not going to hit every shot. That's just plain and simple. But just think about that. That's 240 points of armor. That's almost enough armor ripped off of most assault mechs. You know, yeah, if you get up into the 100-ton, like say an Atlas, yeah, there's still going to be armor left per se, because you're assuming everything's going to be random. You're going to hit every section, and you know, you've had many games where it's like, heck, it was like there's this one game we were playing. They had an Annihilator on the other team, and I hit this. You know, it was a clan game. This was 30-55, maybe, I think it was. And we hit this Annihilator with a whole bunch of PPCs and large pulses, you know, clan tech, you know, so 15 and 10s. And everything hit right torso. All of it. Just bam, bam, bam. It's like, wow. Right torso, right torso, right torso. So, you know, you can't always assume that everything's going to be spread out. You know, you're always going to have one of those games where everything just funnels in. So all you roll, say, is 7s, and everything goes right to the center torso. So there's no mech out there that can handle 240 points of damage to the center torso. So, you know, we kind of digress a little bit. But you get the idea. So I like using this thing in my light and medium lances. Now, when it comes to running up against heavies and assaults, this is a mech that's outclassed. But like I said, if you're going against assaults and you're staying out of range and you want to do that indirect mode, it can do it. Plain and simple. And then when they, to be honest with you, when those missiles are dry, you turn around and go back and find some place to reload, because you're not doing your team any good when you're out of ammo with this thing, which is, I said, the drawback. But you know, the pros is that you have all that damage potential versus how much you can't do after you run dry. Now, let's say you are running against like a light lance, and you're able to hit let's say a wasp or a stinger or something, and you hit with both those LRMs, they're going to know it. That's a lot of weapon damage that you might knock them down, or you're going to rip off armor. Heck, you may even take a leg out for that matter for like a light mech. Let's just look back here real quick. Mind the noise of me flipping through the book. Let's say, here we got a locust right here. Let's say you hit a locust, and the locust has 8 points of armor, and internal structure on the leg is 12. Let's say 12 points total, and you hit it with 3 of the 5 blocks. Let's say you get 2 12s, you know, you hit twice and you get 2 12s for your damage potential, and you hit 3 of those in the legs. Just happen you roll a bunch of 9s, okay, and it hits the legs, takes the leg out. Now that light mech, what's it going to do? It's just going to lay there or try to stand up and have that limited movement it's going to have after losing a leg. If it survives the next turn, which I seriously doubt, because a light mech that isn't moving is a dead mech. Plain and simple. So that's why I always like using this thing in my light and medium lances. It brings a ton of firepower to the table. Now, let's just look at a few variants on this little bugger. We got the Trebuchet, has several alternate versions. One replaces the 2 LRMs with SRMs and 8 additional? Yeah, 8 additional heat sinks. Why would you put 8 additional heat sinks on this thing? I don't know. Because 2, that's 3, 15, yeah, most you're going to do is 15. I probably would turn around and maybe put another medium laser, or more armor for that matter. More armor of that version. But that is a pretty decent if you got 2 SRM 6s and 3 medium lasers, you're doing a good job of anti-scout role. You can go in there and tear a scout mech up pretty good. Or if you're running against a medium lance, and this is alright, If you have 2 SRM-6s and 3 medium lasers, you know what I'm going to do with that mech? Is that's the last mech I'm going to fire, and once everybody strips most of the armor off, I'm going to have that guy turn around and just fire last and try for crit hunting. That's just plain and simple. That's how I look at that guy. And if you crit hunt and you're able to hit somebody's LRM or SRM ammo, game over for that mech. You're just going to be a crater. Now, the other version, let's see, we got replaces the LRM rack in the left arm with a jump jet, so you can put on 5 jump jets and 2 additional heat sinks. So it's got 12 heat sinks, and it becomes a 5.85 with a LRM 15 and 3 medium lasers. That's not a bad mech. You got the mobility, which I like with jump jets. So you're able to go out there and maneuver a little bit better. What's not to like when it comes to helping out with the anti-scout or scouting role or fire support scout? Yeah, that will do great. You know, you decrease your firepower by a lot, but you know, an LRM-15 is still good. Now, question: what would I do with this mech myself? I've done 2 things with this thing before, and I've had some pretty good success, which is, okay, you look at the one that had replaces one of the LRMs with, so you become a 5.85, you have an LRM 15, I would put another one of those extra tons, instead of 12 heat sinks, I drop it to 11. And the reason is, I take that 1 ton, you're going to have that, it's like, okay, you got that ammo bay, which, you know, you have the left and right torso, you have 1 ton of ammo in each. I'd leave them. So that leaves your 1 LRM 15 with 2 tons, so you got 16 shots, you can last a lot longer on the battlefield, and I'm more than willing to give up 1 heat sink to be able to fire 16 turns. Plain and simple. And you're really not changing the base mech at all, other than dropping off an LRM, which is 7 tons. Alright? To give you 2.5 tons into heat sink, or not heat sinks, but jump jets. And then 1 stays in armor, so that doesn't count. So 7. So you're looking at 4.5 tons. 4.5 tons. Something doesn't add up. I'd probably put 2.5 tons into right. So I'd have 1 LRM-15 with 2 tons of ammo, maxed out armor, 1 more heat sink, and another medium laser. So I'd have 4 medium lasers, an LRM-15 with 2 tons, maxed out armor, and 11 heat sinks. That's it. That's it. That's how it works. And you're not really changing the mech too much, other than you're adding 1 more medium laser for in your face type work, and then you're able to last longer on the battlefield. I'm just curious how you guys would think about that one. It works, does a good job. You know, that's kind of something I would do if I want to do more long range operations in the scouting role, and then you're getting more support, fire support out of it. Now, I have seen individuals take the same mech and dump 1 medium laser, let's say out of the right arm, so you have 1 medium laser in right and left arm, and then add 1 more ton of LRM ammo, so you got 3 tons for the 2 launchers. That's another good option you could think about. So you're adding 4 more shots per launcher, so you're basically looking at 12 turns you can fire with those 2 LRM-15s. That's not a bad option either to think about. Alright, just curious what you guys think about Trebuchet. I love it. Always like using it in my lighter and medium lances. Let's see how you take care of it on the battlefield. This is Hellcrex, and you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you later.